Google's newest mid-range smartphone is the Pixel 9a. Just kidding. It's the Google Pixel 10a. But, did they just copy and paste the last iteration? Okay, well, what's up, s'mores? I'm Shannon Morse. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are checking out the Google Pixel 10a. This is Google's newest mid-range smartphone that starts at just $499. It's under 500 bucks. Now, obviously, caveat, if you pay taxes, it's gonna be over $500. But anyway, it has a 6.3-inch 120Hz display, a 5100 mAh battery, Google's Tensor G4 chipset, and a camera system that Google claims is the best under 500 bucks. Plus, you get 7 years of OS and security updates. That sounds like a deal. But the Pixel 9a also has a 6.3-inch 120Hz display, a 5100 mAh battery, a Tensor G4 chip, and the same camera specs. But is it the same phone? Well, not exactly. The charging speed did get bumped up and the screen is more durable, reportedly, and it has a higher nits brightness. Is that it? Okay, well, I took this phone with me on a trip to Japan to really test it out, and I do need to share some of the concerns that I ran into. So today we're going to talk about design, display, cameras, performance, battery life, AI features, and security. And of course, we're going to answer that big question, should you buy a Pixel 10a? So the 10a comes in two storage options. There's 128 gigs, 128 in 2026? Whew, that's low. 128 gigs for $499, 256 gigs for $599, and there are 4 colors available. Those 4 colors are lavender, berry, fog, and obsidian. Now, my purchased phone is in fog, which is not very impressive. It's a little bit of a greenish tint to it. I would usually go to lavender. That would be my choice, but that's not a true lavender colorway at all. It's blue. In the box, you get your phone, a USB-C cable, it is USB-C, and a SIM ejector tool because we do have a SIM slot on the side. I love that. And that's it. No charger is included, which at this point is pretty standard. Now, if you want to see more really in-depth reviews, subscribing is the best way to make sure those videos keep on popping up in your feed. YouTube really needs you to tell them what you want to see, or it will throw very random videos in your face. Subscribing, doing stuff like commenting and interacting is the best way to tell YouTube's robots that you like something. Also, a big Patreon shout out to my newest s'mores, including Jonathan, Billfish, Michael, John, and Sean. You can join them and support my channel by going over to patreon.com/Shannon Morse for perks like early video access and my private Discord. Supporters also keep videos like this one coming sponsor free. As usual, all the videos on my channel are free to watch, and I thank my YouTube members and my patrons for making that possible. Now let's move on to the design language of this phone. It looks a lot like the 9a. If you saw my review of the 9a last year, which we compared it to the 8a at the time, this one looks a lot like the 9a. Like, it looks like they basically took the same casing and put it into a new phone. So you get that composite matte back, that satin aluminum frame, Corning Gorilla Glass 7i on the front, and it is IP68 dust and water resistant. All good. The phone measures 6.1 inches tall and it weighs only about 6.5 ounces, so it feels really light. It's very easy to handle compared to some of the gigantic flagship phones that we have lately. Now, one thing I really like is that the camera bar sits completely flush, enough that the phone does not wobble whenever you set it down. That's something that I always really appreciate because I do use my phone quite often with it just sitting on a table. The edges are slightly rounded. It does make it very, very comfortable to hold for long periods of time. Now, the Pixel 10a has a 6.3-inch Actua display, which looks fantastic for a mid-range phone. Specs are on screen for you, so you can read through these really quick. The screen does get very, very bright, as you can see here. Outdoors visibility is really excellent. I was very happy with it. Colors are really vibrant and scrolling feels very smooth thanks to that 120Hz refresh rate. Huge caveat here I found when traveling to Japan with this phone for 19 days. I have both this one and I also have the iPhone 17e. I carried these around in the same bag during this trip that I was taking, and the 10A got loads of scratches on the screen all over the place up in this top corner. Very disappointing. The 17E, on the other hand, has 0 scratches whatsoever after 3 weeks of usage with no protection on either phone. The 10A still managed to get totally scratched up, so I was very disappointed by the durability of the screen. I was expecting a lot more, and unfortunately I didn't get that out of this Pixel. Now, the adaptive tone is a new feature that changes the display itself, the color temperature, to match ambient lighting through a color temperature sensor. To be honest, this is very neat, but I prefer having accurate colors on my screen and only changing the temperature at night to account for eye strain. Luckily, you can disable this or enable it in the settings yourself. Google did pack in a dual camera system on the Pixel 10a. So here are the specs of the 2 cameras, which you can see on the back. We have a main and an ultra wide. And then on the front, you get that one 13 megapixel selfie camera with a wide 96-degree field of view, but unfortunately, it's also fixed focus. Like most Pixel phones, you do get features like night sight and astrophotography, portrait mode, macro focus, face unblur, super res zoom up to 8 times, and one new feature called Camera Coach. Now, Camera Coach uses Google's Gemini AI models to analyze the scene and recommend better angles and lighting. So if you're not a photography expert, it can help guide you to get a better shot. To be honest though, part of the thrill of just learning photography is developing your own style and vision. When I was wandering around Japan, I might pause and see something and take a picture of it, a photo, with my own style. I feel like a Camera Coach would take some of that away and just give you an idea of something that they idealize based on a very, very specific vision for photography. And that's not what photography is all about. Photography is an art form, at least I think it is. Now, there are also some editing features in Google Photos like Magic Eraser, Photo Unblur, Best Take, Reimagine, and editing photos by asking AI prompts. Basically, if you like computational photography, Pixel phones are going to give you that. A lot of those have not been new. Now, in general, for good lighting, you get good pictures. The dynamic range is great, the images are detailed. I really like the aperture here. There is good contrast here with shadows being a little bit soft, but I still think we get some quality photos. When I took photos in comparison to my more expensive Galaxy S26 Ultra, obviously not a fair exchange here. The Ultra gives me more contrast and natural tones. The Pixel looked a little bit flat and over-sharpened background textures, like the leaves in the background, which should be a little bit blurry since they're in the background. It tried to over sharpen those. There is a big difference in clarity of details between the second mossy statue photos that I took here. In this photo of a kitsune statue, I actually thought the 10A did a better job because it did not overexpose that red bib on the neck of the kitsune. Both phones did a great job on that moss-covered kitsune statue, with saturation being the biggest difference here, and it would come down to personal preference in that case. I do get some pretty natural blurring of the background on the Ultra than on the 10A in this photo of a statue. Now, you can't take photos at 1x zoom in portrait mode. It only gives you the option between 1.5 times or 3x zoom for the portrait feature, but I think the natural aperture is good enough to not really need to switch. Now, the zoom is not great, especially since it only goes up to 8x zoom. We start getting potatoes, and y'all know how I feel about potatoes. They're not great in photography, but they are excellent boiled, mashed, or put in a stew. Pixels consistently do a great job with HDR and color balance, and that is no different on the 10A, and I do appreciate how close I can get for some top-notch macro photos. It did a great job of giving me some cool macros. My selfies are skin tone accurate. I really like the balanced lighting here. They are not overexposed and are generally really good. Anything up close is going to be blurry though because of that fixed focus. For video recording, here are the different specs that you can get for the rear camera as well as the front camera. Video stabilization is very solid thanks to that OIS, the fused stabilization, and active stabilization. You also get audio magic eraser, which can remove background noise from videos. Very, very handy. It's one of my favorite new things that we've gotten through AI. If you're recording outside or somewhere loud or there's background music, you can erase these different things from your video and it still sounds really good, really natural. I love using Audio Eraser. Under the hood, the Pixel 10a runs on Google's Tensor G4 chipset, paired with 8 gigs of RAM and 128 or 256 gigs of storage. Now, Tensor chips are not always the fastest processors when you look at comparison benchmarks, but they are optimized for AI tasks and Pixel features. Day-to-day performance was a little bit off for me, which was a concern. Take, for example, this B-roll that I captured. I was doing a battery drain test. I was playing some streaming 4K video from YouTube. It kept on buffering and it kept on lagging. The video buffers and it stops and it has screen tearing. Meanwhile, the iPhone 17e handled the same exact video flawlessly. So I know it was not an issue with the video itself. It was a very strange problem and I was able to recreate it enough to get it on video. Gaming performance is decent. It can handle games like Genshin Impact, though it's not exactly a hardcore gaming phone. It did get pretty warm during gameplay, but not uncomfortably so. Gameplay was generally smooth with just 1 or 2 moments of lagginess. It was also warm during the stress test too. Speaking of which, here are my scores. Now, since this is a Google phone, AI is gonna be everywhere. The Pixel 10a includes Gemini built in, Gemini Live, Circle to Search. Circle to Search is actually really cool. Live Translate, Call Assist. Gemini acts as your built-in AI assistant as well. And Google does keep on adding new AI features through their Pixel drops, which is one reason the long update support does matter. Security is another place that Pixel devices do stand out. The Pixel 10a includes the Titan M2 security chipset, Tensor security core, and that trusted execution environment. You also get the always-on VPN by Google, anti-malware protection, spam filtering, and theft detection. Plus, they have the emergency features like satellite SOS, car crash detection, and emergency location sharing. Most importantly, Google does promise 7 years of OS and security updates, which really is amazing for a phone at this price point. Battery life? Just okay. The Pixel 10a has a 5100 mAh battery, which is actually larger than many flagship smartphones. Google does claim 30+ hours of battery life and up to 120 hours with extreme battery saver. Now, charging includes fast charging, 50% in about 30 minutes, and Qi wireless charging. That amounts to 30 watts wired and 10 watts wireless, which is a slight upgrade from the 9a. Overall, battery performance was pretty solid in my testing, but in a battery drain test, I got it down to 5% in about 8 hours, with the screen on and streaming 4K 60p video. Now, I don't know why this screenshot only shows 4 hours of screen on time. This display was consistently on and streaming for a full 8-hour workday, and I was monitoring it the whole time. It was sitting on my desk right in front of me, and I was watching videos to make sure that it was working. So I don't know why it says 4 hours, but it was truly on for like over 8 hours. So that was kind of weird. Connectivity includes 5G, excellent call quality, no notes, Wi-Fi 6E, pretty strong there, Bluetooth 6, NFC, dual SIM with eSIM support, love the dual SIM, that's awesome. The speeds are fast, but nowhere near the crazy radio speeds I'm getting in the iPhones and the premium Samsung phones that I've tested this year, so the radio must be a little bit slower in this phone. So, bright 120Hz display, 7 years of updates, good battery life, good camera quality. It's a great value at $499, but the Tensor chipset is not the fastest for gaming and entertainment. There is no telephoto lens, the screen scratches really easily, and it's almost a copy-paste of last year's phone. I bought this phone myself. Now, originally, it was supposed to cost me $4 whole because I stacked it with a $100 coupon, a $250 Google Fi discount, and I used some Google Store credit that was about to expire. But then Google came back and they charged me $250, and they told me that I did not activate this phone, even though from my B-roll, you can see that this phone is activated. They told me they could not prove that I activated it, and I read the vague terms for the deal wrong. But apparently this is a problem that many people have had with Google Fi's deals and them screwing over longtime customers. So I'm actually going to cancel my account and would love to have your recommendations for an inexpensive SIM with a different carrier with good international data plan options. They charged me after I had written this review and I came back from Japan. I'd actually written most of this review on the way back from Japan while I was on the plane. So I have added this addendum as a warning to viewers, but it does not reflect in my overall findings or change my final review of the phone itself. It is a decent phone, but it had no standout qualities for me, nothing really exciting, and given there were barely any changes between this and the 9A, I cannot say it's worth an upgrade, and you may save some money by just looking at a 9A instead. So, what do you think of the Pixel 10a? Would you pick this one over something like a Samsung Galaxy A series or even an older Pixel flagship? We also have the OnePlus 15R and the iPhone 17e that just came out at very similar price points. Those might be really good considerations, especially if you don't care which operating system you choose. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think down below. I'll see you next time. Bye y'all.